Hello and welcome to Big Scott 35 Let's Talk. Told you in my pickup video I was going to do a little bit of a rant tonight. I don't know how much of a rant it is as um, this whole grading, thing is just getting totally nonsense. You got fanboys defending theirs. You got people downplaying if you get graded with one other company. I don't, I joined I'm in an SGC. I'm in two different SGC groups basically. Uh, One wasn't set up as a SGC group, but they strongly push SGC. I'm in PSA groups, a couple of them, and now I'm in a CSG group. And everybody wants to push their own criteria. And I read that email a few weeks back, or not email, one of my messages, and I haven't heard anything from that individual, which I would love, again, have a conversation with. If he doesn't want to have it online, we can have it offline. We can do it via messaging, or I don't care. I just, or anybody else. One of my friends in this uh, community did bring up a good point for subgrades, and I will not, and I can't deny it. When I hear a good point, I bring attention to it, and I will agree with it. And the subgrade, especially if you're not used to that company, is really good to send in cards that when it doesn't get a grade, or the grade that it receives, why you got that grade is a good indicator. So you know what that company is really looking for. And I could tell you, just from what I sent in for CSG, they're looking for perfection to get a 10. Seems like there's a few 10s coming out now. Uh, but man, I have yet to get one. Plenty of 9.5s. But I have this order right now that I'm gonna, after I get off of this tonight, gonna put into to CSG. It's 30 of my friends, and I'm just gonna look through here. Like, I mean, he does have a Herbert rookie, but he told me straight up, Scott, this is my PC, right? Nice Jordan. I can't tell you what year that is, but very nice Topps Chrome, which seems to be. He put another nice. I just love the look of this card. He's got some very nice looking cards, and he is trying to put his whole PC graded, and he does not care. Oh, here we go. This one here is me and him are Dallas fans. He got this downtown Zeke with that laser type thing. Beautiful. But, he's got some very good cards in here. Just looking through his stack here, very good cards. Asked him, hey, you want to get in? You can pick and choose which ones you want. He said no, they're for his PC. I mean, including this one. We know how this just in his base is hot. All of his version is very hot. So, and this card right here is damn near impossible to get a 10 on for whatever reason. And then I have my stack of 20 that I still gotta go through, make sure that everything's clean. But I don't really, I don't know how many of these I have sent in, and I'm gonna keep sending them. If I feel like I got a clean copy, this one is all centered. But like I said before, if I have a card, um, this is the one I got from Mike O at the National, purchased from him. So I don't really need to know the four numbers. I'm interested to see if they even grade this one, if I can even put it in. This is the Japanese version. Yeah, so. Um, and here's another Japanese card I'm sending in. And I hope they do this. This is the Konami. So, I don't really need the subgrades. They're not going to be sold. at least that's not the plan for them. And if I come to the terms where I have to sell them, I'm getting what I can anyway because it's going to be in desperation mode anyway. Now, I just went in, I've done this before, and just pulled some graded cards out, different manufacturers. I just want to talk just for a minute. For me, I'm going to show. I just opened up one of my PC boxes, so these are going to be McNeil's. I like the Mets. So it's a McNeil rookie 8.5. I'm looking at it. I can't really see what the difference is. Maybe it's a little top to bottomish. It's definitely a little off on the back, but they deemed it an 8.5. Now, for me, I don't really need to know why it was an 8.5. It is an 8.5. Just because it can be graded and be told to be, they could give me my whatever on it, four things. If it wasn't $10 per card, if it was part of this got sent at $8. So I was okay with sending this card at $8, but not at $18, right? So you're changing the whole dynamic of why I'm sending this card in to be graded. This card doesn't, I'm going to touch a little, I want to have a very good, I believe, a roundup at the end, and I'll touch on why. So this is a 9.5. And you got to remember, in CSG, a 9.5 is Gem Mint. See if I can't get that to... Gem Mint, 9.5, right? So I don't need to know if it's a true Gem Mint or whatever. And I still don't understand that. So if one of the four is a 10 and the other three are 9.5s, is it not a true Gem Mint? It's got to be all four. Why would the price go up because it's not a true Gem Mint? It's still a 9.5, and having to know the four numbers, it doesn't change. It's a 9.5. And I wish I got a whole bunch of these. I should have pulled out just any old other one and go, okay, tell me where the difference is, right? So you eye to eye, you take this away, it's a 10, right? You put this, oh, now it's a 9. Yeah, I don't have the subgrade, so I can't tell you why it's a 9. But it's still a 9. It's still a 9. It doesn't matter with subgrades, without subgrades. And if the subgrades were there, somebody that got it and go, oh, it's a 10, why did I get it? And still see the subgrades, they're still going to argue that's subgrade. I've seen it on many a video. It's still an issue. So you go over to companies that don't have subgrades. PSA, the #1 selling flip out there by far. You can't challenge that. I think CSG's making a run at SGC. Most of the cards being sent into them right now, just touch on this for a second, is bulk orders. And I'm going to get to why this got to me because of one of my groups. So they are bulk orders. So most of the people are capitalizing on the $8, now $12 deal. And it's still the $8 coming out. So I send in a card that's less than $155 or whatever. I don't really need subgrades. They're mostly PC. They are some resells. But it's under $150. Adding $10 more to it just doesn't make sense at that point when I'm trying to get it at a cheaper deal. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. So, I just pulled these out of my PC. Max Scherzer, buying 9s, sell the 10s. I keep the 10s, sell 9s, but I pick up 9s because they're a considerable difference. And then I got a Don Mattingly 8. It's an 8. Do I need to know why it's an 8? I mean, the only thing I can see is a little off center on top to back. But if I cover that up, you would never know. I should have just covered them up. So that way we could have a guessing game. Because you're buying the card, not the flip. Come on, people. I mean, yeah, if you're reselling, you got to buy the higher end stuff for resale value. But who you're reselling to, you got to think about that. So you're reselling back to collectors, and I'll touch on that at the end of this. So here's SGC again, just pulled them out. Brooks Robinson. This is something I bought as a kid. I met Brooks Robinson at 12 or 13. He was signing autographs at our Little League tournament in town, and I just thought that was the coolest thing. And saw this cheap when I was a kid, picked it up, and I'm glad I did because it's a kind of a pricey card now. So I got a 4.5, but it's no subgrades, and it's a 4.5. I showed my Roberto Clemente. It's a 2.5. Now this has soft edges or soft corners with the little battered edge here. It's all center on the back, and we know SGC, the back is just as important as the front, and they're going to take off considerable for that. I don't need subgrades. That's all I'm saying. If a card looks good, I'm going to get it. And as a kid, I bought that card. When I say a kid, I'm saying a 13, 14-year-old with my saved up money at a shop from a shady guy. Now, I do have some BGS cards. They're autographs, but they have the subgrades. This I bought at my first National. This was one of my key items. I did not have a Ken Griffey Jr. auto, and this is the only one I have in my collection, and I wanted it with the Mariners. That's it. I didn't care about the flip. I really don't like my autograph cards in this. I'd rather have them just plain. I don't think getting autograph cards adds a lot of value. I'm sure it does, but to me it really doesn't. And it is numbered already, so it's already got it's out of 50, so it's already artificially got a finite number to it. So, and it has, I don't even know what the subgrades are in them. 9.5, 9.5, 9 and a 10. So my question is, the 9 and a 10 average out to a 9.5, is that a true gem mint? I don't know. And I don't care. It's a 9.5. It's a card in my collection, and it's not going anywhere. Love that card. It's actually in one of the cases like this one back here on the other side of the room that you don't see very much, but it's with Pete Alonso's. And this is as well. This guy I'm starting to collect a lot of if you watch my channel. Dave Wright played for the Mets, my favorite team, and also is for Virginia. My grandmother's favorite player of all time. She loves some David Wright. So this is an 8.5. Centering 8.5. Corners 8.5. Surface 9, and edges 9. Okay, great. It's a minor league card. We all know they don't come out very great to start with. I didn't buy it for that. I bought it because I got this in a base with no auto. My LCX actually had this and gave me a good price on it. So I bought it, and I didn't care it was in a BGS. I've said it before, this is my least favorite of all the holders. But if it's a card I want, it's a card I'm going to buy. I don't care about the flip. I've said it before. I was going to pull out my GMA, but that was just, to me, overkill. I don't need to pull out. I've shown that I have GMA. I got 2 GMAs of hockey players. Just real quick, you see I changed a little bit. I wanted to, this is my favorite player of all time. My little section I have here, I don't want to call it a shrine because then that means I don't pray to it or anything. It's just my little corner that's growing, and hopefully I'll get another one of those to put right down here, the continuation. So this is all my tops with some added. It's the Topps base complete run of PSA registry cards. And I just saw, when I looked into CSG today, they have started their registry. They made it really easy to click. So they are already ahead of SGC when it comes to that. And they understand that is a huge thing to the collecting world. I don't think flippers really understand that side. When you go to their channels, it's a forgotten thing. And I can tell you, it's a gateway into the grading hobby. And collectors, once they start a registry on with PSA, they're going to keep collecting PSA. I have yet to buy a Gary Carter non PSA. If I buy a graded card, I look strictly for PSA cards. Now you can see I don't do that with all of them, but I'm doing Gary Carter registry and 1971 Topps. And I don't really need to start another registry, but I am uh, with them. And I use the registry to for a checklist on some other cards, like my Roberto Clemente player run that I'm doing. I have one SGC. I have uh, PSA. I think I have three different types. I forget what the third graded one is. I want to say it's BVG, but I don't care. I just want them graded because I want them authenticated, and and that's the thing for us collectors is authentication is such a big thing. Uh, that's the main reason why I get graded. I want them so whoever now I leave them to, they have, or whoever gets them after me, they know exactly what they have, or not exact, a starting point of what they have, right? So they can get this card and go, oh, it's an 8.5 with a 10 autograph. So when they talk to somebody, if they're not educated, they can talk with terms that the other person can understand as a starting point, right? And also it's easier for them to educate themselves by going online and looking at comps. Even you don't have to be in the baseball world to understand that there's comps on eBay. People buy all kinds of stuff on eBay. It's not just hobby stuff. Now, talking about the hobby and what got me started on this, I'm in a CSG group, and a guy was so happy that he got his first 50 card bulk order back. And I was going to congratulate him. Then I started reading the first comment. Man, you're going to be sorry you didn't get subgrades. And the person on there replied, yes, you're going to be, yada, yada, yada. The guy plainly said that it was for his PC. And even if it's not, who cares? The guy decided the $8 was the reason. The $18 wouldn't have been the reason. If it's $18, you're going to hesitate. It's 50 cards. Like me, I sent in, I was going to send a 50 card order by myself because at $400, it's still more economical than sending to anywhere else that doesn't do subgrades. That's what kills me. I guess that's the point. It's like PSA, SGC do not do subgrades. So for me to send in the same amount of cards and pay up twice as much for sending those, if I send in, what are they, $25, $30 a card now at SGC. So to send in the same 50 cards is what, $1,500? It's like, come on, $400, $1,500, and you're not getting subgrades? And because the company offers it, you think I should get it? Man, I'm glad you don't run the business I work in. Just take a minute and think before you start speaking. And you got to remember, this hobby is for collectors. It's always been people that are selling, and us collectors sell. But man, that's not what drives us. What drives us is collecting the joy of this, the joy of the other stuff in my room, not making $1. And I understand, like, that's what drives you. That's what makes it fun for you. But man, take a second and go, man, good job. I'm excited for you. We need to be a community, not worried about, man, what's your return on investment? The guy was happy. And I still should, but then I got so mad. I didn't get mad. It was just hurtful. I don't get mad anymore. I don't. I hurt when I see things like that. I feel for people. It takes a lot to post your stuff online. And I hope the guy didn't take it as a negativity. It was somebody I know they were thinking they were helping, but it wasn't. It was not good. And I see it a lot. People want to critique, and I know when you put your stuff out there, it's open to critique. I'm open to people that want to question what I do, and as long as you want to have a conversation, I'm open to that. But when you start dictating what I do or what other people do, and you're saying my way is better, or you're gonna wish you did this, they might, they might, but the guy plainly was happy, and I still don't understand how a 9.5 with subgrades sells more than a 9.5 without subgrades. I really don't. I won't understand it. A few dollars maybe, but when you're telling me you're going to pay 50 to 60% more or less or more for the subgrades, then I think you might be the one with the problem, not me. uh, so that's my whole thought on that. And remember, the hobby's for the collector, and the collector's where you guys that do the selling, where it ends up. And if we're not out there, that card just gets thrown back and forth between the sellers, the flippers, the investors, whoever you want to call it. So in order for you to make a dollar, us collectors have to be out here and go, yep, that's what I'm willing to pay for it. And without that, uh, they're slowly, I think the collectors are starting to find other avenues. Like I said, uh, I'm starting to ramble a little bit, but I'm going to ramble just a little bit. Bear with me. Like I said in my video this week on the pickups, I have been killing it on Pete Alonso short prints, atomics. I'm paying penny auctions, uh, hitting up people with best offers, paying half price. I'm happy that I'm doing this, but I'm feeling bad for these guys that, did they buy it for more? Are they, are they just pack ripping? Did they buy a box for more than they should have? You know, and I don't feel too bad for them. It's the state of the hobby because I know the big cards are still crazy priced. I'm not, that crazy. The 2019 autos of Pete Alonso. So I like to get one of the Topps base autos with the hockey stick design, but I'm not going to pay crazy for it. Um, the 2019, I like to have that. Uh, and I like to have his first card auto, but I'm not going to pay $480 for it. That's just me. Now, somebody else might. That's why I price that way. Uh, but I don't tell any, you're not right or wrong. I just don't feel comfortable doing that at this moment. So, that being said, let me know how you're doing in the hobby, how we're with. I know I talked about the subgrades 2 weeks ago, but that one kind of hit me different. Like I said, it didn't make me mad. It just made me fuel my. I don't really say much when it comes to on here when it comes to how other people thoughts or ideas. If you noticed, I don't really speak out against other people. I don't, make fun of others, how they do things or at all. Uh, I try to be uplifting, um, and CSG to sports cards are new. But they're not new to the collecting world at all. They got a pedigree. To me, they're number, 4 in people. I think they're fast. I think, the people in the SGC world, SGC. Okay, I'm going to talk. I'm going to say one more thing, and then I'm going to be done, and I'll go through my spiel when I get off. When people say, "Oh, SGC wants to be number one," of course, that's everybody wants to be number one, but they know where their lane is, right? They know what PSA is. They know what SGC does. So SGC's concentrating on what they do and be the best at what they do. And if that puts them over PSA, then that does it. Don't worry about they're going to have to do this, that. They don't care about the second market. They don't care about any of that. That's our issue. That's not their issue. Their issue is about how much money they can make by the cars coming in and going out. And right now it's time and the budget ones. That is their thing. They're thriving on the ultra modern market. And when PSA opens back up, they're gonna get crazy slammed again because there's not that much ultra modern coming out on the market through SGC and CSG. So where's all those cards at? They're sitting in boxes. I see them sold raw every day because they're not being sent in because PSA is not taking them. You know, I was listening to somebody the other day and they were saying how they don't, in the same way with the car companies, it's all about how much money they're making. They don't care about the secondary market. Fanatics does. That's why they got a guy from StockX to run the thing, because they're going to run everything. They want to control the secondary market. They see the money there. So they're going to form a part of eBay. They're going to make an eBay thing on Fanatics for cards. So you can see it coming, mark it down, write it in a book, take it to the bank, whatever you want to do. They want to be the be-all, end-all of distribution, just like they are in the clothing world right now for NCAA. So, you know, with that being said, I know I've ranted and went around 360 and came back again, made a loop and a figure eight. But, you know, just let's be supportive. If somebody doesn't get subgrades, it's not the end of the world. You know, and if they reach out and ask, or, you know, if they plainly say this is for my PC, well, who cares, man? God. And even if they're selling it, it's their decision. And if they see their card sells for 50% less than the subgraded cards, it's a learning experience, but they're still going to make money. Anyway, that's my rant. Like, share, tell a friend. Till next time, see ya.